Are you a lover of Disney World but have to do extensive research into the rides before your trip? Do you ask questions like these and end up feeling like this? And wonder how on earth people feel like this? In this final part of my mini-series, I'm taking you to one of my favourite parks, Hollywood Studios, where we'll conclude my Disney ride mini-series in hope that you have a much less stressful time on some of these rides. I'll be narrating my experiences, also reading some assumptions through online statistics and YouTube videos. I'm James Farrow, welcome to my channel and welcome to part 4, the final part of my Scared of Disney Rides mini-series. Roll titles. Hello everybody and welcome to part 4 of my Disney mini-series. I was scared of Disney rides. I'm here to help you. My name's James. It's my last part of this, part 4. I'm not going to get emotional, we're just going to crack straight on. The 5 rides that we're going to look at today are Star Tours, Toy Story Mania, Rock and Roller Coaster, Slinky Dog Dash, finished with the Tower of Terror. Let's start with Star Tours. So I'm a massive Star Wars fan, and there was never a question of whether I was going to ride this or not, because however it was going to be, however bad it was going to be, I was always going to ride it because it's Star Wars. Star Tours is basically your run-of-the-mill simulator with incredible graphics and takes you on a turbulent ride across the galaxy as C-3PO and R2-D2 attempt to safely return a spy to the Rebel Alliance. You board a Starspeeder 1000 and voyage to alien worlds such as Tatooine and Hoth. They also choose a Rebel spy at random, so when you go and sit in the simulator, there's a screen at the front and they kind of scan through whoever's in there, and then someone's face will just appear on the screen and it really just gets you involved, and you're sat there and then as soon as someone's face appears, everyone's like, oh my god, it's you! Oh my god, it's you! No way! Like, oh my god, you're on the screen, we're in Florida, you're sat there, but you're also on the screen. How does that work? What? Crazy. So straight away, you have interaction with this ride, so it kind of takes your mind off anything if you are worried anyway. You shouldn't be claustrophobic, there's plenty of seats in here. A pre-ride video does actually show the ride vehicle that you're going to be in. It's 100% less intense than Flight of Passage. So if you've done Flight of Passage and you are about to do this ride, rest assured you are going to be fine and just enjoy it. There's a bit where you go into light speed and then you come out of light speed. They're like the only bits that I feel like you do get thrown forward and then back, but again, it's all fun. The duration of this ride is 4 minutes 30, which believe me is not enough. I've read a lot of comments about this and everybody wants this ride to be a lot longer than it is. Even the ride queue really sets you up for it as well. Also, I'm one of those that when I'm queuing for a ride where I haven't done any research for it, my boyfriend Leon, he's kind of like my shoulder to cry on. So I'll be in the queue and I'll be like, oh my god, do you know if we drop? Do we go backwards? Do we go upside down? Am I going to survive today? I don't want to show you too much of this footage because, one, I think it's illegal, and also I want it to be an experience where you see it first, head on. So I'm just gonna describe the first bit anyway. So the one thing I absolutely love about Star Tours, and anything in Disney really, they make the queue really immersive, because obviously you're going to be spending quite a long time in this queue if you haven't fast passed and it's a really busy day. So you go past the actual ride vehicle here, which is the Speeder 1000, and that is the actual simulator. I assume it looks very similar to what we will be riding in. They tell you to go left or right, and you can see these orange doors, and they're the doors that you're obviously going to go through. And then now, this is the pre-ride show. I'm not going to give you any warning for this. I don't feel like motion sickness comes into it at all. You also get 3D glasses as well, which makes it more exciting. and the graphics stand out as well. So there we go. So that's the vehicle that we're about to get in. When you're actually in there, you have to store all your belongings underneath a chair, just in like a basket, because it will probably end up in someone else's lap by the end of the trip, and so will you if you don't buckle up. So here we go. So this is just the beginning of it. So obviously it's blurry because you will have 3D glasses on. C3PO is actually part of this. He's not on the screen there. He will be 3D. He is right there. He'll be 3D without your glasses on. Now obviously you get shot at, and you do get flung forward. This is the bit that I was saying, that you're in light speed. That's the only bit that you really get flung forward and backwards. Again, it's not as intense as like Mission Space or Flight of Passage, I don't think anyway. I would really recommend this ride. There's nothing to worry about. Ride number 2 is Toy Story Mania. I love this ride. I know I say this about a lot of rides, but wow. Like this, last time we went, we didn't even manage to get on this because it was just so busy. It was like a 3 to 4 hour wait. And when you are there just for 10 days, I just don't feel like you have enough time to queue for that long. But it's a really good ride, and again, I just feel like it's over too early. It's too quick, but it's a very interactive ride. This reminds me of Buzz Lightyear's Ranger Spin, if I've said that right. It's so much fun, and again, it doesn't last long enough. It's about 5 to 6 minutes. And again, I could probably spend all day on this. 1, because it's a great ride, and 2, because there's air conditioning. 5 to 6 minutes might actually seem long for a ride, but honestly, once you've queued for 3 to 5 days to get on the ride, you want to spend a little bit longer on it. The attraction features 5 mini games, and each player's score is recorded by an on-board display screen. I think there are also, just like Buzz Lightyear, secret targets. If you hit them, your score rockets. I haven't got into that because I'm not a walkthrough of the ride. I'm just telling you what to be scared of and what not to be scared of. There's nothing to be scared of. 5 to 6 minutes isn't long enough. It's not long enough, okay? When you've queued 3 to 5 working days to get on this ride, you want to be on it longer than 5 to 6 minutes. I'm trying to think what I can warn you about, but I mean, if you get dizzy, probably don't go on this ride. If you hate pigs and cows, probably don't go on this ride. If you hate having fun, just don't go on this ride. I've warned you. Don't come back at me now if you hate cows, because I've told you cows are there. Number 3, we're going to go straight in for the big one. Now, to this day, I've never done this. So just to let you know, this kind of analysis is done on people's comments online in forums, what I've watched on YouTube videos, and I've also found a YouTube video that has lights on, because obviously this ride is completely in the dark. Just so you can see what's happening in there, there's a few inversions, so I'll tell you about it now. So Rock and Roller Coaster. I honestly think if I'm ever going to go on this ride, which is highly unlikely, I would either have to be heavily drunk or on some form of Valium. So the ride reaches speeds, wait for it, it goes from 0 to 57 miles per hour in 2.8 seconds. If you're wearing a wig, you want that tied down. Riders experience up to 5 Gs, which a rocket launch is only 3. This ride only lasts 1 minute 22. Pretty quick, but that's because you're going at the speed of a jumbo jet. The ride takes you through 3 inversions, which include half vertical loops, half corkscrews, and a sea serpent roll. You honestly have to have some form of death wish to go on this ride. So I've looked at some comments as well on this ride. So someone, if you go on forums, this helps me as well, and it may help you. So if you just type in Google, like, is Rock and Roller Coaster scary? Some people, I mean, there's some dramatic people. I know I'm dramatic, but there's even more so. How scary is Rock and Roller Coaster is the question in question. The Rock and Roller Coaster is the one ride that I regret not trying. I had a scary time on Space Mountain the day before, so wouldn't try it, but I really regret not going on it. I hope you are braver than I was. I think that's the big thing. You either go on it and then hate it, or don't go on it and regret it. I've kind of weighed these things up, and I honestly think I'm going to eat my words, because Leon's going to watch this, and I'm still up in the air about going on Expedition Everest. I think going on a ride and putting yourself through that, although like the 24-hour build-up is horrendous, after it, there's no regret, and you feel like Captain America. You feel incredible. You feel like you could conquer the world, and as I've said before, you feel like you could just abseil down Cinderella's castle, blindfolded, upside down, in the dark, with no rope, at Christmas, with snowy ice on the castle, and fire at the bottom with spikes that eat you. I've got out of riding this ride so far. Now my boys are older. If they're doing it, I have to go to force myself. I'm scared of heights. Me too. That feeling of falling out of sort, like Splash Mountain, although I do it and feel great after. Again, like I've just said, you either do it, feel great, don't live with regret. And then someone replied, it's my 11-year-old daughter's favourite ride. Take that for what it's worth. Boom! She went there! Don't get on her wrong side. And her 11-year-old daughter's side. Her 11-year-old daughter can do what she wants. The Hulk? Her 11-year-old daughter can do it. Walk up Everest? Her 11-year-old daughter can do it. But then someone else, just to not put you off, my #1 favourite coaster is Rock and Roller Coaster. The whole thing, from the pre-show to the garage lot to the ride, is fantastic. Just do it once, you won't regret it. I'm smiling just thinking about it. Okay, I hope you're all ready for this. I'm going to show you lights on. Again, you can see the kind of people that are on this ride. Like, there are kids on this ride. So, here we go. So, keep your head back and put the pedal to the metal. One, and you're gone. So, flashing lights. So, if you're obviously epileptic, probably don't go on this. Okay, so this is lights on. So you're shooting through, and then there you go. There's the loop. So it's all quite compact inside. Corkscrews, sea serpents, or whatever you call them. But then I think that's it. So that's the worst bit over with, because then you're just kind of like going around. So if you can get over that speed at the front, like, this is fine, you don't do anything else. If you can get over that first initial speed, okay, I lied, you did just do another one. I think it's just the speed, because it doesn't seem to be that fast when you actually do it. If you've done it, I would love to know how you felt on it, whether it is as bad as people are saying, because, you know, looking at comments, it doesn't fill me with the biggest amount of confidence, but I'd love to hear everybody's view on this. 1 minute 22, is it worth it, or should I just live with regret? Help me. So #4 is Slinky Dog Dash. So Slinky Dog Dash looks incredible. When it first came out, I did see, you know, it's got some inclines, and I was like, oh my god, why? So Slinky Dog Dash opened on June 30th, 2018, and everyone seems to be loving it. I am yet to go on this because we haven't been, last time we went was May 2018, so it wasn't open when we went. The story of this ride is that Andy built a roller coaster using his Dash and Dodge Mega Coaster kit. The ride reaches 40 miles per hour and has a duration of 2 minutes. Even the ride vehicle looks really fun on this. People are saying that it's It's more fun than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So there you go. So again, it doesn't look too fast. This was the bit that concerned me to start with, but it looks like a controlled drop. It doesn't look like a free-falling, kind of lose your stomach kind of drop. Got a few turns, but again, if you've done Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I get the feeling that you can do this with absolutely no problems. To be honest, this looks like a really fun ride. So then you're halfway around, so it stops. And then it stretches. Now the only way that I feel like this may be the 40 mph bit is you can kind of hear the wind on the camera, which almost feels like this is the quickest bit. But you can never really tell. And then you go up, and that's it, and then round. Again, it looks like a controlled drop. That probably does get your stomach a little bit, but again, this looks more fun than scary. We're 100% going to do this ride. Lastly, it's my biggest enemy. One that I've actually ridden and soon regretted. But I went on it. Tower of Terror is a drop ride, which is inspired by the television series The Twilight Zone. Now, for me, this ride really loomed over me the entire holiday. The first time we went in 2016, there was not a chance. Not a chance. I wouldn't even go on like Dumbo or Aladdin's Magic Carpet. Then the second time, we went there, we went to Hollywood Studios, and I was kind of like, no, we've still got like a week. I will do it before the end of the holiday. And then I woke up that morning and I knew I was going to do it, but I didn't want to tell Leon because he'd have forced me, but then not forced me, but then I'd have felt forced and then I'd have done it anyway. You can see the Tower of Terror from like miles away, and it just felt like it was looming over me. We started having pictures, and then closer and closer towards the Tower of Terror, and I can just remember feeling so sick in these pictures, and Leon knew it. He even said to me, like, you look really concerned and just anxious in these pictures. I eyeing it up and I was like, right, hold the phone. I was on Google, I was doing the drop and everything, watching videos, and I was trying to think, right, so that's the whole building, so, but there's a path there which kind of like goes up half the building, so obviously like the drop isn't that whole building, it's kind of an illusion. Well done, Disney. And trying to con me I can well do this ride. So we got in, and I'm just gonna show you the video, not of me because obviously you don't get a ride video of this, but I will show you the picture of me at the end. And I'm gonna talk you through my experience on this. I'd never ever done a drop ride before, so I didn't really know the sensation of how it might differ from, say, like Splash Mountain. I wasn't aware of that, and maybe I was just curious, so that's history. I went on it. Again, a really immersive queue, but because I was panicking and hyperventilating and just everything else, I couldn't really relax and enjoy the surroundings. But hey, if you like this ride, the queue really gets you in the mood for a horrible ride. So, okay, going through the queue, and then there, the elevators. So again, I have looked at how this actually works, and if I can find a video of how it works, I'll show you now because it's quite clever. It kind of goes up the lift, and then across, and then drops you into the drop arena, stage. So this is the queue. You're in like a hotel basement, boiler room. At this point, I had pins and needles up my hands and up my arms. Leon, I must have gone white as a sheet, which would have really fit into the theming of this ride, like a ghost. And Leon just looked at me, and I could see in his eyes, he was like, he's not going to do this ride, he's going to just run off in a minute. I didn't, but I was very close. I've never been so anxious for a ride in my life. So here we go. So you're about to go in, and I can remember speaking to the people around me like, oh, I'm really nervous for this ride, like, have you ridden this before? And they were like, oh yeah, I'm not going to do the accent. Oh yeah, we're just doing this to wake up. They were doing this ride, they'd just got out of bed, and they were going on Tower of Terror to wake them up for the holiday. Just get a coffee. So here we go. So again, it's a very strange ride because you don't have a bar or anything, it's just like a chain that goes across your lap. In terms of holding on to something, you've really got to try and find anything around you to hold on to. So here we go, so the first bit. And I can remember as soon as we went up to this level, motion in my stomach, I suddenly realised that this wasn't going to agree with me. Even going up like that, I knew I'd made a mistake. So here we go. So there's some flashing lights to get into the mood. Then it goes dark. Doors close. I have a very horrible stomach at this point. Then you go up to the next bit. And I'd watched so many videos about this. Here we go. So this is the bit where you go into the drop area. So all the lights go out, which is fun. That music. I feel quite ill watching this. And again, you just know that right at the end there we go. So you're in the lift area. Now, I feel like we were waiting to drop for a very long time. But straight away, my eyes were closed the entire time. There you go. So there you go. People love this ride. Can't do it. So there we go. We're dropping. I couldn't really tell the difference between the feel of going up and coming back down. It was all just horrendous. The people that have their arms in the air and not holding on to anything are absolute psychopaths. I don't know how you can do it. And then you shoot back up again. And then that's it. It kind of goes up and down, up and down, up and down. We must have dropped the entire length of that building. We just flew down, and even when we got off, Leon was like, that was the biggest drop he's ever had on that ride. It's just, it varies all the time on this ride apparently. So yeah, this is the picture. That's my eyes closed, and as you can see, everyone else is fine. There's a boy in the front row that looks like he could be watching Countdown, and I'm in hell, pretty much. And at this point, when we'd finished, my legs were like jelly, and yeah. But everyone else seems to just be fine with it, which is the worst bit. So if we're talking about the highest possible drop on this ride, it's showing up at 131 feet. So it's a 131 foot drop if you're going from top to bottom, which it rarely does, but I feel like I did do that. But again, I'm a very dramatic person, so I'm really not sure. People ask whether this is like a claustrophobic ride or not, and then I looked up some answers. I did not find it claustrophobic. I wasn't claustrophobic in the slightest. I knew I just had to get the hell off that ride. But after it, I got a little key ring, which is still on my keys, and it just shows me that if there's anything that I really don't want to do in life, I look at it and I'm like, but I did that. I can kick some butt because I did that. And I know that sounds silly to some people, but I did the Tower of Terror, so I'm a little bit more fearless. Someone put the question, how bad is Tower of Terror? And someone said, not sure if my heart can handle the anxiety. I honestly think one of the worst bits of this ride is not knowing when you're going to drop. It really just does build the anxiety and the tension and everything. it's a massive build-up of anxiety before that drop. So someone said, being that I don't do roller coasters, I can't understand why I let myself be talked into doing this ride. Never again will you get me on this ride. It's the not knowing when you are going to drop and how far it will be, and the dark didn't help anything. I will stick to the Simpsons and Toy Story rides. Again, where she says, I'm being talked into it, I feel like deep down I knew that I would hate it, but I wanted to push myself to do it, and then I got the keyring. Never again will you get me on this ride. It's the not knowing. It is the not knowing. It's just, you just feel like they hang you there for a while, and then it's just like, see ya. Someone said, oh my god, this is the worst one for me. You sit in a 2-row seated area, then a small bar comes over your lap. Then the music starts and you go into blackness. Then, boom! You're down and you're holding on like mad. Hands are sweating, trying to grip metal. Then boom, you're flying. It's YOU''RE. You're flying up and your brain feels like it's being pushed up. I second this, sister. Then down and up, and in between all of this, the doors open to see the park. Terror, it is, my friend. I'm glad to go off as my legs are shaking when I get off. I've done it 3 times and never doing it again. She's done it 3 times and she's clearly still shaken up because she can't seem to get her words correct, bless her. So this is probably what Tower of Terror can do to people. As others have said, not claustrophobic at all. It's quite a large room / vehicle that you sit in. It has 3 to 4 rows on one side and 3 on the other. Also, as others have said, it's the not knowing when you will drop that is the scary part. The first couple of times I did it years ago, I kept asking myself why I was putting myself through it. Now I just laugh, okay, and still scream, but only out of fun, not real terror. It is now so my favourite ride, and I could do it over and over. So that's something that's really positive that's come out of it. I'm not like that, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it again, but I'm glad I've done it, because that is the best bit about doing these rides, just the feeling afterwards. And I honestly think it's probably better than not doing it. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope it's really helped. If you've enjoyed this last episode, 1, 2 and 3 are available on my channel. Just a shout out to a channel called Nibbles and Bubbles who have supported me through this mini-series and watched them, and yeah, that really helps me make videos, to be honest. So thank you, and I will just disappear now and go and do something else. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. This ending has been horrendous.